Yo, what's up, everybody? Jumping here, and today I am back on some Destiny. It's been a minute. I haven't played this game for about 8 months. I recently just got back, and I gotta say, I am really enjoying it. I have a lot of friends who've been playing this game, and people were telling me that Destiny right now is in a really good spot. And I can tell you that I definitely agree with that. Once I came back and I got back into it, and I powered up, I got to 750 in no time. It took me about a week. I definitely have been enjoying it. There's a lot to do right now, and if you're not playing Destiny and you were playing it, especially if you have the annual pass for Forsaken, I definitely would recommend coming back to check this out because there's a lot of really cool stuff in this game. But recently, they did actually add in this brand new exotic hand cannon called the Lumina. And I actually want to talk about that today, and I want to show off this build because there is something about this weapon I haven't really seen a lot of people talking about. And I hope that this will actually persuade you to actually try this out, because this is actually a really cool build that you can do with this weapon. Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and get started. I guess I'll talk about the weapon a little bit. I don't want to talk too much because there's definitely a lot of videos out there talking about this, and I'm sure everybody already has it for the most part. I will say that it is a little grindy to get, but it's actually pretty easy if you know what you're doing. There's a lot of really easy steps, and if you are doing certain things, it makes it a lot quicker. So overall, the grind isn't that bad. But the main thing that this does is that it will actually allow you to heal and buff your teammates. And that will come from picking up these remnants, just like the Thorn. And then you get noble rounds, and then you can shoot your teammates with them. They do home in, so it's not like you actually have to hit them. You just have to shoot in their general direction. And you can actually go ahead and buff yourself and your teammates with that. It also heals, which is really nice. Now, obviously, this is a Well of Radiance Warlock using Lunafaction boots. I mean, this build is definitely tailor-made already for a gun like this. This will just help with that. Now, I will say that the damage buff that you get is 35%, which is actually really, really nice. It's kind of crazy. But it does not stack with any other damage boosting thing, which is kind of disappointing. Especially things like the Banner Shield. I don't know why it doesn't stack with that. Our Empowering Rift. I can understand Well of Radiance not stacking with this because then you're talking about some crazy damage boost that you can get off of that. So I can get that, but overall, I do wish that they would allow this to stack with some things, and it is a little bit odd that it doesn't. So overall, I definitely like it. Now, the biggest downside of this, of course, is when you don't have teammates. So that is something that will happen sometimes. Maybe you're playing by yourself or no one is around you, and that makes this not so good. And I will say that this in PvP could also be very good. I definitely can see this being pretty amazing. I love the feeling of this gun. This gun feels nice to use, so I definitely do like it for all of that. Now today, what I really wanted to point out is something that's really interesting about the Well of Radiance Warlock with this weapon, because there is actually a perk that you get that's actually kind of crazy with this. And that is Benevolent Dawn. This is actually a crazy perk because by healing or empowering your allies, it's going to grant you grenade, melee, and rift energy. Now when it comes to the melee and the grenade, it's about half your energy back within that 5 seconds. And this weapon will trigger that, which is kind of nutty because you can easily get your melee or your grenade back. I'm going to show some examples of this now. I'm going to use my melee, I'm going to use my grenade. Then I'm going to shoot my ally with the gun, and then that's going to trigger this perk, and that's going to give me about half my energy back. And all I have to do is wait for the 5 seconds to go away, do it again, and I can get my full melee and my full grenade back. I can use my grenade to actually heal people, give myself an overshield or my allies an overshield. I can punch enemies to go ahead and empower myself and anyone around me. It's pretty cool. And of course, if you're using the Lunafaction boots, you can actually use your Rift as well, and then this can help you get your Rift back a lot faster. So I definitely think that this is a really cool thing about this gun. And that's something I have noticed not a lot of people are talking about. They're not actually pointing this out, that this perk will trigger off of this weapon. And that is actually amazing. So now I just want to show you what I have going on with this setup and this build, because I'm not going to show any more gameplay. You kind of get the idea. What I really wanted to talk about was that perk and how that works, because I think that's amazing. I definitely think that if you're going for a support role, this is definitely your setup. The biggest downside to this weapon is that it doesn't have a catalyst right now, in my opinion. If it would have one of those, or if they would come out with one soon, it takes them forever to come out with catalyst. But if it did have a catalyst and it made the weapon even better, that would be really nice. And on top of it, this would be an orb generating machine because this weapon can actually take out ads really, really quickly. And I am using the Wendigo, so you do want to pick up orbs. This is like pretty much the best general heavy weapon in the game right now. For any type of general gameplay, I definitely think the Wendigo is the way to go. If you're going for raid bosses or just killing bosses, if you have a tractor cannon, the Swarm of the Raven is still king pretty much with spike grenades. This thing is awesome. But I also would recommend weapons like the Huckleberry. This is an orb generating machine. If you're playing by yourself or if you don't have allies to buff, I definitely like the Huckleberry, probably would be my second choice, and then after that would be the Outbreak Perfected. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, these are your 3 exotic weapons you would want to use on a setup like this, and I, of course, would recommend the Loaded Question. Pretty much the way that this build really works is that anytime you do have your Rift or your Well, you can bust out the Loaded Question, and you can keep that perk going, and yeah, this thing's damage is, like, out of this world. If you have the Exploding Light perk active on the Wendigo, this thing will just melt bosses, big enemies. It does not matter. It blinds them. It is awesome. So obviously I am using Lunafaction boots, and I have a lot of Fusion Rifle Scavenger on, a lot of grenade mods in here just so that I can get my grenade back quicker, so I can go ahead and throw out that healing grenade. I really do love doing that to give myself an overshield, to give my allies an overshield. It is really nice. So I definitely do love this weapon with this setup just because it allows me to actually get my grenade back so quickly, and that is awesome. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for this. I just wanted to show this off and talk about that perk because that is something I have noticed. A couple people have pointed this out, but I just don't think enough people are talking about it. So if you have this weapon and you were one of the people who really didn't like it all that much, I would recommend try this weapon out on this Warlock. You will actually really enjoy it. It makes it a lot of fun to actually play that support role. And yeah, I mean, this weapon is actually really good in general. Alrighty, well, I would really appreciate it if you could like this video for me. Be sure to subscribe for future videos, and I really do hope that everyone has a very nice day, and peace out.